Hello, everyone. This is Daryl Andrews, Coach D, the virtual motivator. And I'd mentioned that every week I'm going to be coming to you live with some lesson, strategy that's designed to impact individuals, organizations, corporations, schools, school districts, whatever capacity you work in, or just again on an individual basis, impact you individually. And so last week we kind of looked at a topic where we were talking about protecting your energy and the feedback and the response from that interaction was really, it has been powerful. Got a lot of positive feedback from people who understood how significant that message was. As a matter of fact, I said that message, from my perspective, was one of the most important messages of our generation, because there's so many things out here today that are impacting our energy, taking our energy away from us and causing us to see things from a perspective that's unhealthy and limiting as far as our potential is concerned. So what I wanted to do today was kind of share another strategy or a thought. And again, a lot of what we're talking about these days is really based upon the times in which we live. And so in this past year, you'd have been a lot of people who have looked at this whole COVID, 19 thing and said, hey, it's really a challenge to me on multiple levels. That's why last week's message was so powerful about protecting your energy, because part of the protection of our energy was the drain that comes from what's going on with the COVID-19 pandemic. And so it's powerful to understand strategies, and hopefully many of you had a chance to look at it, the strategies that are necessary to protect your energy. So today we're going to be talking about another subject, but I wanted to kind of elaborate on that one, because if you haven't had a chance to look at it, go back and look at last week's video. So good morning, Eva, and good morning to others that are on. Thank you for joining us here. What I'm going to talk about today is another serious subject, and that's not to think that I'm the sage on the stage, but when you've been doing stuff for 2 decades, you kind of have some insights. And so today I want to talk about another subject that I think is important, to us as individuals, but also if we're a leader, to the way we lead our staff, to the way we lead our families, the way we lead our lives. If people who have dreams and goals and ambitions, this is a powerful message for those individuals as well. And again, this kind of information I'm going to be sharing today is not a byproduct of just a thought or an idea. It's really a byproduct of analyzing this stuff for decades, sitting in front of millions of people. How you doing, Trishana? Welcome aboard. Millions of people. I've been on, like I mentioned, 3,000 stages. I've consulted countless organizations. I've interacted with thought leaders all over the world. So it's kind of like when you interact like that, you start to see things and you start to understand things. And so today is going to be one of those sort of ouch moments. It's going to be an ouch moment, because I'm going to be tapping on the toes of a lot of people who have bought into certain premises as it relates to the achievement of outcomes of goals. So this is not a disrespect to anyone that spends their, entire time, just being motivational. As far as motivational speaking, I do a lot of that as well. But what you're going to learn today, that's a part of the process. But if you totally depend on that, you're going to be frustrated. I kind of believe that there's a scripture in the Bible that said, hope deferred makes the heart sick. Yeah, it says hope deferred makes the heart sick. And I don't quite understand why that is. I'm sorry, Trishana, it may be your end, because I get these messages. Thank you so much for that. But I get messages a lot from different people. And it seems like everyone else is hearing me okay. So I don't know why that is, why there's an echo on your end. But that scripture says hope deferred makes the heart sick. And so what I'm finding is a lot of people have hope for things. And it's good to have hope. Don't get me wrong. It's good to have hope. But you don't want to just totally like rely on hope. Okay? You don't want to totally rely on hope. Okay? Thank you for sharing that with me. We're just going to keep moving along, because again, others are saying that they hear me just fine. And so today we're going to talk about this topic, that is motivation without information is simply a good conversation. And that's a quote that I've been sharing quite a bit over the years because I tell you, for the longest, we've had the opportunity to interact with a lot of people, and everyone has a dream. Everyone has a goal. Everyone has an aspiration. But the reality of the matter is, it takes more than just a dream. It takes more than just a goal. It takes more than just an aspiration. You see, what it takes in order to move our ideas forward, all right, in order to move our ideas forward, we got to realize something. It takes strategy. Okay, it takes strategy. And so that's why I said motivation without information is simply a good conversation, because the reality of the matter is a lot of people are motivated. A lot of people say they're going to do things. A lot of people say that they're going to accomplish certain outcomes. But then you look up and you come to the realization that people have been saying that stuff for years, that I'm going to do this. I'm going to accomplish that. I'm going to achieve this goal. I'm going to achieve that goal. I'm going to write this book. I'm going to write that book. I'm going to start this speaking business. I'm going to start this cooking business. And then 10 years later, they've started nothing. How is that? All those years. I mean, I've been doing this a long time. And everybody, like, people see me speaking. Oh man, I'm gonna do that one day, and I'm a speaker. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna accomplish that. When you gonna do it? When I retire at 65, 70, then you're gonna become a speaker. People are always, gonna do something. But the reality of the matter is, that's motivation. I'm feeling it. You know what I mean? I got my yes sir in there. I can't see names because some of these don't have the people's name. It's just have Facebook users. So if you have you may want to type your name in some of the chat. But it's just amazing to me. All right. It's amazing to me how people have these ideas. They have these concepts. They have these dreams. They have these goals, and they can talk about them forever. They can call people like me who do this and want to get, time with us to talk about their ideas. And I do that sometimes. You're going to see at the end of this, we offer time for people to, kick things back and forth. You know what I'm saying? And so some of you are typing in thoughts, but I can't see your names. So it's like some says most of them are saying Facebook users. So you may want to tell us who you are. And that way in your chat, so we can know who you are. For some reason, it's not coming up as your name. But here's the reality of it. I shared this scripture earlier. Hope deferred makes the heart sick. I would tell people, I would rather not try to pursue a goal, all right, than try to pursue a goal and don't put the right effort forth, because that's when the goal becomes frustrating. That's when the dream becomes a nightmare. Please hear me out, because there's nothing worse than saying, I want to do something. I want to build a business. I want to be better in my career, and don't do anything from a strategic standpoint to achieve that outcome. See, what I'm talking about is from experience. This is not some feel-good message. This is real deal stuff. There's nothing worse than that. When I coach people, and I don't coach everybody, I really don't. I don't coach everybody, because the reality of the matter is, I just don't coach everybody. But here's the deal. The people I do, I always tell them, I don't have time to play around with people who just simply want to play games with their future. Because I'm going to be frustrating to you. You're going to be frustrating to me, and this ain't going to work. So when we work together, it's important that the things you say you're going to do, you do them. Because what I want to see at the end of this experience is an outcome for you, not for me. I'm good. I've had enough accolades in my lifetime. I'm good. I got trophies. I got awards, and I got recognition. I'm good. What I'm looking for is as an individual, that you achieve yours. So let's take a look at this, because there's a lot of good insight in here. And like I said, I'm gonna start doing these training type things instead of just sharing a bunch of words. So let's take a look at motivation. And I think this is important because people, and I'm having some conversations with some state organizations and state agencies now where we're talking about doing some work. And what I shared with them is, please don't just see me as a motivator, as far as the term motivation is denoted in most people's minds. I said, to me, motivation is much more than just a feel. The feel is fine. It's a good thing. But the reality of the matter is it's much more than that. And I took the word motivation and I broke it down into the two words that it denotes. And one is motive. And a motive is an inner state that is driven towards a goal. Let's stop right there. A motive is an inner state that is driven towards a goal. So if you've never been taught about motivation, use this as a building block. It's not a feeling. It's an inner state which is sort of a feeling, but it's going towards something. So when a person, is being motivated, the reality is the motivation should be leading to a specific outcome that people pursue. And so that's where you put the word action, because that's the second part of motivation. And that's the fact or process of doing something, typically to achieve an aim. So when I go in and work with organizations, I tell them all the time, if you just want coach to get you hyped up, that's fine. Give me a check. I'll take that. But if you want strategy, let's get into the details. That's not going to be me hyping you up. That's going to we're going to use motivation as a tool, but strategy is the vehicle. That's a good point to write down. The motivation is going to be the tool to get us inspired to do the outcome, but the strategy is the vehicle. That's why a lot of the work we do now is around motivational strategy, because do you look at these two words? Motive is an inner state that's driven towards a goal, which means that when a person stands on the stage, myself and many of the other speaker friends I have out here, or the consultant friends or the coaching friends, if you're doing individual coaching, or if you're in school working with students, or if you're in a corporation and you have employees, when you're motivating them, what you're doing is you're dealing with an inner state, but you ultimately want to get them towards a goal. That's why I love when people do peer mentoring within these various organizations, because what they're doing is going beyond just trying to inspire that individual, they're trying to give them strategies. Okay. All right. So don't look at motivation anymore as just a person getting on the stage. And I know there's many out there that have done that very successfully and just inspiring people. And thank goodness for those folks. But when you leave that situation, that scenario, that presentation or whatever, what you going to do with it? That's the question we got to ask ourselves. What are we going to do with this information? Are we just going to simply feel good about it? Are we going to put action to it? You see, are we going to put action to it? Like when we go in and do these consulting projects, I always say, you know what? We want to see what you're going to do with this. What are you going to do with this information that we're sharing? Because this is important to me. I don't want you coming back to me and saying this don't work and you never even tried. The reality of the matter is what you're going to do with it. Okay. And let's talk about that for just a few moments, because people really always fall in love with the feel. But one of my early stage mentors said it like this, because people fall in love with that motivation piece and they fall in love with the dream. And I got this vision and I got these goals, and you need that. Don't get me wrong. But Earl Stafford, a gentleman that impacted me early in my career, said it like this after he had a good, long, lengthy half-a-day mentoring session with me. Daryl, don't fall in love with the dream. Fall in love with the process. You see, and this is a man that built up a highly successful corporation, sold it some years ago, and started a foundation to help other businesses. This guy's it's amazing what he's been able to do with his life. But the reality is when he was mentoring me, the few interactions we had, he said this: don't fall in love with the dream, fall in love with the process. So today, what I want to talk about is that, because the reality is, if you're going to achieve an outcome, you saying that you're going to achieve the outcome is not going to be the thing that's going to get it. It's got to be the process in the day-to-day building blocks that you have to put in place in order to achieve a specific outcome. Hope y'all feeling me out there with this one. All right. Because you know why? Some people are all talk and no action. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes that frustrates me. Like, people get mad because I don't have time to talk to everybody all the time. And I say, listen, I'm too busy trying to fulfill purpose, and I got a family myself. I got wife and kids, and I'm active in our my community, so I'm doing a lot of different things. I don't have time just to talk all the time. I really don't. Some people are all talk and no action. Some people are scared to take risk. You see, they're scared to take risk. All right. And this one is scary. Some people leave the earth with their dreams inside of them. Inside of them. The dream never manifested to a particular outcome. It was just inside of them. And that's a dangerous, dangerous place for a dream, to just lie there. And I like this quote. I've shared this a lot of times, and many of you probably heard this before, from Dr. Miles Monroe. He says this in his book, Understanding Your Potential. This is a dangerous quote, but he said the greatest deposits on the planet are not found in the diamond mines of South Africa, nor the oil wells of Saudi Arabia. He said the greatest deposits are found in your local cemetery. He said in there are books that are never written, songs that were never sung, artwork that never made it off the mind of the originator. In there, in that graveyard, you have potential that remains potential. And so we have to realize, as much as we like to talk about things, as much as we like being motivated, that's good. Keep being motivated. If you don't have action, those dreams, those goals, those aspirations that you have, leading people, leading organizations, all of that, it's going to be very difficult. You need action in order to achieve these outcomes. All right. So let me give you some simple keys and we'll be done here today. All right. 3 simple keys. All right. And all my folks who spend their lives motivating, don't beat me up what I'm about to say. All right. Because some of y'all going to get mad at me. But it's okay because I motivate too. But I still have to say this. Stop being addicted to dopamine. And what I mean is simply this. Stop being addicted to the next feel good. Let's just stop that. Let's stop being addicted to the next feel good. Some people are dopamine junkies. They go from person to person, to speaker, the moment, the situation, and they've fallen in love with that, but they have no love for the outcomes. No love for the outcomes. Just want to continually get that high like a drug addict on a drug. And so and I know there's a lot of people out here feasting off of this. But the reality is, if you're just addicted to the feeling, you'll never get the outcome. All right. Because dopamine plays a way in how we feel pleasure. So I'm a speaker, I'm a motivator. I get that. So I understand motivating, but I always tell people, don't just listen to the motivational part of this. Look into the process part of this, the systems part of this, the analysis part of this, the Benjamin Bloom model, taxonomy, analysis, synthesis, judgment, evaluation. Take this information and process it and do something with it. Because the ultimate goal with motivation is you want it to produce an outcome. I go to the gym every day. Went to the gym today. I'm in that gym. I'm working out, working hard. I'm in my 50s and I don't care, man. I'm still going at it like I'm a young boy. The reason why is I like the fact that I'm at my age and I'm still healthy, still strong. You know what I mean? Still vital. I'm not in some chair, that's not funny, but some dude with a big belly with the grandkids popping, bouncing on their stomach, and I'm not knocking folks that are. If that's your lane, God bless you. I don't want that. I like being in good shape. I like feeling good. I like that sense of vitality. And so I get up and get my butt in that gym every day. Why? There's an outcome I want. My thing is I'm going to be 75 years old, still buff. You know what I mean? 80 years old, still looking good. And you say, you crazy, coach? No, Ernestine Shepherd is 82, 83 and still bodybuilding. Don't tell me what's not possible. But you know what? I have goals for that. It's not just I have my little planner that I live by. Many of you have heard me say that. I got this thing here, this daily planner. This is my goal. This is my daily Bible, man. I go here. All my strategies are right in this planner because I'm still a hands-on person. You put in the computer, I get lost, man. I got time for that. But you put it here and this when I write it down, because for me, writing is better. Then I can look at it and I can go after my goals. I have the amount of water I'm drinking. I have the diet, what I'm eating for the day. I have what my business goals are. I have what my personal goals are. And guess what? I stick by them. Why? Because motivation without information is simply a good conversation. The second thing is fall in love with the daily task. All I have to say is remember Earl's quote. Okay? Don't fall in love with the dream. Fall in love with the process. This man built up $100+ million business because he fell in love with the process. And he said, the dream will take care of itself if you're a process and task oriented person. I only got a few minutes left with this because I got proposals to do. So guess what? This is coming to an end because why? I'm staying the course. Okay. But this last one is important. Realize that time is infinite, but yours is not. Time is just going to keep going on. From my ancestors and beyond them, there was a time. There was a time. Now they're not here anymore. Their time came. They came to an end. So that scripture says to everything there's a season. But when the season is up, it's gone. Now that's my addition to the scripture. All right, that's my little addition. I've worked a little bit in there, But there is a time. We don't have forever, and there's certain things we're supposed to deposit into our society during our time, because that's our season. And even during our time, we have seasons within our time, because there's seasons that we can do things that we're supposed to do things. And when that season is over, it's gone. So the reality of the matter is, realize time is infinite, but yours is not. Start taking time seriously. My dear friend, Rachel Revel, we work together, is a time management and efficiency expert, one of the best out there. And she focuses in on that. She talks about chunking, and she talks about all these different strategies that you can use in order to manage your time effectively, because we don't have ever. And there's nothing more exciting than to look up and realize that goals that you wrote down and the way you planned your day produced a specific outcome. Because again, motivation without information is simply good conversation. So I'm going to get ready to wrap this up. If there's anybody that wants to do any kind of analysis as a result of this information, I'm doing this. This is amazing. I'm putting this out here. I'm not charging anybody. It's on LinkedIn. But, as we work with our customers, this is the kind of stuff we're talking about, and, the coaching clients and consulting clients. This is the kind of stuff we're talking about. We're having these in-depth conversations about strategic type stuff from a motivational perspective, because the reality of the matter is simply this. If we simply just have it locked in our head and we don't put any action to it, it's going to become frustration. There's nothing more frustrating than a person looks at their life and realize that they procrastinated away a lot of years. And then they look up and they're like, what in the world happened to that time? This is the time. Enjoy motivation. Listen to my stuff. I'm going to inspire you, but then do something with it. So if you want to do any follow-up, there's some follow-up information. I do take several calls per week that I give 15, 20 minutes. Not that once I get to that amount, I don't go beyond that because I just don't have the time. So it's only a certain amount of people every week that I will interact with. And this is no cost, just to brainstorm and strategize. Only serious inquiries, though, because I've had a few people that they weren't so serious. They just, I don't know what they were thinking about, but only serious inquiries. And then this is my website. If you want more information about the services we offer, we are busier now than we've ever been from a virtual platform. It's really amazing. All the impact we're having virtually, because I was one of the early stage people that realized you can still make it happen virtually and put systems in place to be able to impact organizations and individuals and companies and school districts, all the people we work with. So that's pretty much it. Remember, motivation without information is simply a good conversation. It's time for you to become strategic in order to produce the outcomes that you desire. Take care.